Here we are at LMN's Tips and Tricks for Snow and Ice Contractors. And in this video, we're going to show you how to improve your profits by reducing some of your costs. And in this case, what we're going to look at is calibrating and measuring your salters. Now, this doesn't seem very sexy or fun, but trust us, where we get to the end of this, you'll see how it can make an impact on how much salt your guys put down in a night, and ultimately help you put down the right amount of salt without over applying so that you're not running up salt bills more than you need to. Now, the problem with salt isn't usually the equipment or the application system. The problem is usually the guy behind the wheel. Let's face it, that salter driver's been driving for hours. It's probably in the middle of the night. They can't see the pavement very well, and they're just driving around spinning salt off. Now, if they don't have a scale on the truck, the driver has no real way of knowing exactly how much salt came off the truck. So he's doing his best guess. Every single night, you got multiple drivers out there spinning salt off, working long hours in the pitch black, hoping that you're spinning the right amount of salt off, not too much and not too little. This is where calibrating and measuring comes in handy. We're going to help our drivers learn how much salt is the right amount to put down and how much time it should take, so that without a scale, they can have a better guideline of exactly what you mean. So the first step we need to do in this exercise is to find the amount of salt dispensed by our trucks per minute. Now, obviously, if you have different trucks and different salters, you're going to need to do this by truck or salter. But let's assume for right now, we're just concentrating on one type. So the first I want to do is find an empty container and then spin off salt for about 15 seconds into that container. Make sure the salt is flowing first. Don't waste the first couple of seconds getting it down into the hopper or whatever. Get it going, and then put the container under it and measure it for about 15 seconds. Then you want to weigh your container. Now, we don't really care about how much salt comes off per second. What we're really factoring or need to know is how much salt comes off per minute. So what we want to do is take how much comes off in 15 seconds and multiply it by 4. That'll give you how many pounds per minute your salter spinner is spinning off. And in this example, we're going to say it spins 200 pounds a minute. Now we're going to take this to the next site and figure out on a site how much salt we need. Now your first step is figure out your salt application rate. Now there's no standard here to give out since it's different depending on your climate. Everybody will have a different application rate depending on average temperatures and moisture level in the air, pavement types, etc. But let's just assume for the purposes of this exercise, we came up with an application rate of 1,000 pounds of salt per acre. So that's how much it's going to take to clear an acre. Now what I want to do is find the site that I'm working on and measure it. So you can see here on the left, I've measured this parking lot and it comes out to be about 0.65 acres. Next, I want to calculate how much salt is required. So if I multiply 1,000 pounds per acre by 0.65 acres, I need 650 pounds of salt per application on this property. Next, I want to calculate the estimated time to salt this property. Now, if I know our salter spinner spins 200 pounds a minute, and I know this site needs 650 pounds of salt, then I can make a logical assumption that the estimated time it's going to take to salt this lot is 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Now, that's a number a driver can use in the middle of the night to help guide them as to how much salt to put down. They're not going to know how many pounds unless you have a scale on the truck. But they could use a time system to figure out that once they've been driving around for 3 minutes and 15 seconds, approximately, the lot should be done right. Now, of course, that's going to change in different events. There's all kinds of people that are probably saying, well, what if it's warm and what if it's too cold? And obviously, different nights and different events are going to plus or minus that salt application rate. But in a normal event, if these are all your normal factors, what you've now given the drivers is a normal guideline as to how long it would take to salt the property. So now we've got this amount of time it should take them to salt, which will A, help our estimating, but B, I really want to make sure it helps us reduce our salt consumption. So what I'm going to do next is go into my LMN time jobs, and on my salting task, whatever that task is called, I'm going to add a note that's got the estimated salt application rate in pounds and in the time. So you can see there in the picture of the phone, it's showing the crews that the salting application is 650 pounds and the time is approximately 3 minutes and 15 seconds. That way, anybody who goes to this site knows that I should have the salter on for about 3 minutes and 15 seconds and the job will be done right. Now I can make sure that my crews are putting down the right amount of salt without using a number like pounds, which is impossible for them to measure. Is it a perfect system? No. A live scale in the dashboard of the truck could be a perfect system. That way they'd know exactly. But is it a better system than just hoping your drivers are guessing? Absolutely. And I'd estimate that you'd probably save 10 to 20% on your salt usage each year by making sure your drivers know accurately how much salt they should be putting down on each site. Hopefully this gives you some ideas for your salt operations next year. For more information on LMN and its budgeting, estimating, and mobile time tracking system for snow and ice and landscape contractors, check out www.golmn.com.